all of my 2019 best picks right here. These are my notes. I have been taking notes since the beginning of 2019, so in January. Now in this video, just because of personal reasons, I'm not going to have the time to actually demo all the products. So if you want to check any of the related videos out, everything's going to be in the info box, so just watch that video. 9 times out of 10 I have swatches in there, application, on my skin tone. But also if you go to the main header on the channel here, go to the search function, type in the actual title of the product, and any video related will pull up, including the videos that have the product worn on my face in the info box under makeup worn. So you'll see a lot of that will pop up. I'm going to start off with the skin prep spray. That is something that I use before I prep my skin with an actual primer or some sort of a moisturizer on my skin. So you're going to see different categories in the video based on how I do my makeup. Nothing from the year 2019 that just was like, okay, bye for a little bit, Smashbox primer water. 9 times out of 10, that is what you've seen in the makeup worn section. So think of how you would remove your makeup. You would do a double cleanse. I do a double skin prep. So the mist is usually what I prefer to use. Under primer, I do have what I consider a high-end pick. And for that, it is my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I'm actually still using my deluxe size sample here, but I also have a full size one. Now, when I had talked about this one on the channel, I did a comparison between the Milk and the Cover FX Gripping Primer. So I wore it half on my face, and everyone that I was asking that particular day, they liked the Milk side better. This primer does what it says as far as just going onto your skin, and it feels sticky. So I feel the best way to actually really utilize the grip primer is to let it just stay on the skin and do its thing for a good 1 to 2 minutes. I can tell by now when my skin feels stickier that it's ready to go. If you go in sooner with a foundation or a concealer before it's fully, what I would say, set, you're going to notice it's going to start to peel up in places, and it's just not going to behave the same. So that's probably the only downside of this primer, is you've got to give it just its time to do its thing. But once you've given it its time, it seems to just stay on all day long. I would have skipped a corrector for 2019 had I not found Dragon Beauty's Skin Potion Corrector. And this solely comes from my friend who bought this along with, I think, the face palette. And she gave me this since it's too dark for her. And this works perfect for my skin tone. There's only one shade. And I also feel there is a slight learning curve with this corrector too. It is also something where I feel you either like it or you don't. Usually I have not. I just don't reach for a corrector. I'm just past that stage of really caring too much about anything like dark circles or really apparent hyperpigmentation. But using this and seeing how it would actually cover and stay put, allowed to build up with powder, stay put, put on your liquid, stay put, and not seep through. That is what sold me on this. For foundation, I separated them based on like liquid, powder foundation, and sticks and so forth. But for liquid foundation, Drugstore, I don't have a Drugstore pick. It's just using what I have and just really seeing, what's good, what's not. But under the high-end pick, this was hard because I had 2. But I did narrow it down to 1. And my pick for 2019 is my Urban Decay Naked Skin. I just call it my collection at this point since I have 3 shades. It was between this and Bare Minerals Pro Liquid. But what I started to think about was, what was the foundation that you left on your desk? What was the foundation that for a solid like 2 weeks, what did you reach for? What foundation did I not mind mixing and trying out and getting a perfect blend? Also, no matter what I mix with this formula, it stays put. As far as the claims, the stain power, and still looking skin-like with this foundation, no matter what I mix in with it, the texture still remains, instead of turning it into something completely different than what the actual, foundation is. And that's something that was really important to me. I like the staying power. I like the natural look on the skin, but skin-like. That is what sold me. That is an absolute fabulous foundation. I do have a lightweight, radiant, dewy pick, and that is my Long Poom Skin Feels Good. You get a little bit of coverage here, but not so sheer where it's like, might as well not wear any foundation. I just love the contrast that this produces on my skin. So definitely very happy I picked up a full size based on some samples. Under concealer, I do have a Drugstore and a high-end pick. Now under Drugstore, the one that blew me away, I wrote notes, February, March, July, so we're talking beginning of the year, middle and the end, I keep reaching for L'Oreal's Infallible Full Wear Concealer. When I don't want to wear foundation at all, again, sunscreen, prep the skin, make sure you're wearing your sunscreen every single day, doesn't matter, wear it. And I'll just use this just to spot conceal. That's the beauty of this, is when I saw the absolute pigment level of this concealer, how it would cover a dark mark and is done. Blends right into my skin tone, and I don't have any other foundation on. Skin-like, perfect. I wasn't expecting it from Infallible, especially because the foundation that I had got at the time, I was like, whoa, this is so fragrant all day long. I just wasn't expecting that concealer to work for me, and I am so glad that I picked it out to try it, because look, it turned out to be the best of 2019. So highly recommend that. My high-end pick is from Bare Minerals. This is the Serum Bare Skin Complete Coverage Concealer. This is another concealer that is offering the pigment level that has impressed me, covering up hyperpigmentation and dark spots, but offering the absolute most skin-like concealer like finish that I've seen from a concealer. For my powders, same thing. I have a loose, a pressed category, but for loose powder, nothing from the drugstore and not a luxury brand as well. But for high-end, this was an easy pick for me. Huda Beauty's Easy Bake powder, loose powder. My friend who gets Huda Beauty's PR, she gave me this big O. I mean, this was so generous. She put that powder to the top with Kunafa. That's my shade, and I'm already down to here. So I said I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to pick up a full size. Also picked up during the year Sugar Cookie and Blondie, just to try it out. I was curious with Blondie. It's more of a lighter tone, I would say banana. Think of like ABH's loose powder and banana. That's what Blondie looks like. So I was thinking, well, how will that look like on me? And so I was using Blondie here and there, and there's some videos that will pop up with me using it, and it worked fine. It just still blends into my skin tone. And the same thing with Sugar Cookie. Like, this was also filled to the top too. Sugar Cookie is meant for pale skin, very light skin. So I said, let me go ahead and try Sugar Cookie to see, is it very translucent? And same thing. I use this all like today too. I just have it all over my face to set my foundation, and it works perfect. So my thought process with these powders, when it comes to the loose powders, don't necessarily go by what it might state on the website, Sephora site, the brand site, as far as a recommendation for your skin tone. Try it out, see if it disappears into your hand, and you never know, you might like it. Contour, I do have two picks, only because I do have two different formulas. I have a cream and I have a powder. And it's what I've reached for the most in 2019, and it's just going to stay in my collection. So I do have the KK Beauty Cream Contour Sticks. So I have the double-ended side here. Then I actually have the pressed powder. Now the pressed powder palette has the highlighters in there as well. So I do use the highlighters when I can remember that they're in here, but the powders, I would say contour powders, I use those a heck of a lot more, as you can see by the dirty little prints there. This is the darkest color stick, the deep dark. This is the one that just blends in like absolute butter into my skin. Absolutely smooth as can be. It is the contour stick, cream-wise, that I notice that just produces just that natural shadow on my skin. And then I noticed at the beginning, I was getting some compliments. I was like, okay, I already knew how good this was blending, but it was just that natural contoured shadow. And that's what I started to notice, and even started to notice on film, you know, when I would wear it and then edit the video, I was like, I got that KKW on. Okay, I like that. On this side here is what I would say is the shade that works the best for my skin tone and my undertone. So if you are warm, you have that olive golden. This shade here just, again, it's that natural skin-like shadow. And I do need to use something that has a warmer tone in it. I start going towards the grayer side and it looks like ash on me. So I do need that warm tone. Now this shade here is a lot more of that neutral based, even though it's deeper. So this is the shade I use more so for my nose. Or what I do is I'll just start to mix these two when I want that bronzer effect. So if I'm not going to contour, even if I do contour, I'll just go in with these two on the brush and it turns into a nice bronzer onto my skin. I do have a high-end, a drugstore, and a luxury pick for bronzers. I tried out so many bronzers in 2019, it's not even funny. That was like another product besides the foundations that were just being pumped out. Bronzer. My drugstore pick definitely goes to Physicians Formula. It is their deeper shade expansions in the existing butter bronzers. So we have all different types of tones now for the bronzers. You can get them in the light skin tone ones, medium, and you have the deeper ones. The shades that I tend to reach for the most under the Physicians Formula is the Sculpting bronzer. So this one is the Sculpting. Sculpting just has that neutral base, a darker neutral base tone that I prefer. And I just started to notice I would reach for this one the most. Even though I also have this one in Endless Summer, which I thought would be the one I would stay with because it has more of a red tone based color to it. I was noticing I was reaching for Sculpting absolutely the most in 2019. I do have a dedicated video for all the bronzer shades that I received. The brand did send them to me. So you're welcome to check them out, get the swatches, application, and so forth. But it's a smooth blend and I definitely like that. Now my high-end pick one, this one surprised me. This one did because I didn't think it would be my pick. But again, I noticed how much I was reaching for it and the compliments I was getting, how toasted I was looking. Benefits, toasted, perfect shade name. So there is a deeper shade expansion too with Huda. Huda is usually just like one color for, you know, the most popular skin tones out there. And then they have the Huda Light for very pale skins. And then they deepened the shades and they have the Caramel, which is okay. That's more of my skin tone shade than Toasted. So I would wear Toasted on no makeup days too. I would use it as that contour and bronze, just blend it up more towards the cheeks. All you got to do is just push it up more and a hairline. And I mean, the compliment, I was like, I'm looking quite toasty there. To look, I really do enjoy. It's a matte bronzer. I've used this as eyeshadow too in a pinch. Just, you know, pop it on and you're good to go. My top pick for luxury is, again, it's another pick that I noticed I kept reaching for an awful lot. And it is the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer. So this is, again, we have all these shade expansions. This is in Tantalize. So this is the deeper shade. I did pick the Marc's bronzer because I compared it right up there with, when it comes to luxury bronzer, there is no doubt Guerlain is where to go. They have it down when it comes to bronzers. That's what they're known for. But Guerlain will have that sheen to it, will have that slight shimmer. You know, it really depends. This also depends on the shade. And then they start discontinuing shades like number 9, which was the holy color, right? And then there's 5 and then there's 7. So I look at this one and I see how it blends just right up there with Guerlain. And that tone is, you look at this and be like, that's not going to work. And it deepens and it produces that natural, realistic, sun-kissed look on the skin. There you go. I have 2 sections for blush. I have cream and I do have my powder. So for my drugstore pick, I have to have two. There is no way I can separate these. So the first one is going to be the ColourPop Disney Designer Princess Collection. They have such a long title. This is the Tiana one, the Kissing a Frog. I cannot put this powder blush down. This shade is beautiful. I can wear it alone. I can wear it mixed with all different kinds of blushes, which is what I tend to do. And if I don't, like in a hurry, like the other day, I couldn't put on highlighter, so I knew this had just that sheen to it. So I'd put it up on the top cheekbones, got that little glow, call it a day. Tiana, I have to have this. Have to have this shade. Absolutely perfect. I couldn't pick just one. I had to have these two. So Tiana. And the second one is the blush that's in the full spectrum palette here from CoverGirl. This is another product I have talked about so much on this channel again and again. If I don't make a dent in this blush for 2020, I'm doing something wrong, or there is a ton of product in here. Each and every time I wear blush, this color comes with it. So I can wear it by itself, but whatever blush I just happen to have on, today I have on three, because I have on Tiana too, but I have this blush. I tend to reach for this brush from Japanese, or any type of a tapered, what I say like egg tapered brush. Just go in and I use it as a contour for my blush, because that's something that I like to do. I just will do that contour, so it just further deepens it back here, and then like that. Just goes right down. So I love the effect that this will give. Again, that sheen, slight sheen, it just looks beautiful. There's no shimmer chunks in it. Nothing. My high-end pick for blush, as far as a pressed powder, is from Sephora. This is their, where's the title? Modern Powder Blush Duo, and it says Tiger Lily is the shade. Tiger Lily. I have actually swatched all of these in the store, and Tiger Lily is the one I said, okay, this is one I'm just going to pretty much stay with. I will swirl my brush in here, and it looks scary. It looks like, I think it's NARS Exhibit. It looks like it will just be vibrant and very clown-like on the cheeks, but it doesn't. It just shears out into this orange tone with a little bit of red. They work the best mixed together, in my opinion, or you can wear them separately, but it's just beautiful. So for today, or whenever I usually reach for this, I will put this blush on first, then I put Tiana on top, but just kind of like in this region right here, and then I just finish it off with a CoverGirl. Boop. And done. Now under cream sticks, these also impressed me. Very just easy to use blend, easy stippling brush that you can use, and they stay put all day. And it's ColourPop's blush sticks. Now at the time that I had these in my favorites, I think it was at the beginning of fall, I had one, Mic Drop, because I swatched them all at my local Ulta, and Mic Drop was the one I said, okay, this one is the one I'm going to wear, pretty much, because it's the prettiest, and you can see it on my cheeks. But they had them in the sale section. They had these two, and this was during the holiday season. This is the bird, part of the bird collection. So it's Pretty Thing and Wallaby. And this is the tone is like a purple violet tone. I just felt the cap fall. Great, now I gotta go down and find it. So there's the tone right there. Now when I wear it, I just mix them together. So I'll wear the darker, and then I'll just put the lighter purple tone, violet, just kind of like a highlighter, mix them together, because I put the CoverGirl. Oh, you put that CoverGirl color on. You add the CoverGirl blush to any blush color, and the way it transforms it, you'll thank me later. All my batteries died, so I'm filming the next day. Left off on blush, so moving on to highlighters. So for highlighters, if I'm thinking a drugstore category, drugstore, affordable price range, I have to go with what I reached for the most of all last year, and it was actually my favorite combo color here, and that's the Super Shock by ColourPop. These are truly my number one picks. It's just what I constantly reach for, really, no matter what is coming in at that price point. So my two shades is Do Not Disturb and Butterfly Beach. These are my favorite. I didn't buy these in 2019, but these two combined, are the best. And I have noticed that these two shades are no longer on the ColourPop website. These need to come back. They need to come back in some way, shape, or form. I don't care if it's in that big compact, something. I didn't think they would go away, and I didn't have the opportunity to buy 5. That's my thing, is when something leaves and it's my absolute favorite, for me, I have to buy 5 of them because I figure 5 will cover me until I'm dead. I just figured it out that way. So ColourPop is my top pick. And I'm going to stay on ColourPop because that's exactly the brand I picked for the actual cream formula in like a stick or so forth. So my cream stick here of the ColourPop Light Stick is my top choice. And it's really because this is so incredibly easy to apply, multiple tools. The color is just right on for my skin tone. This is the shade Acting Up. Excuse me, my throat is acting up. It's that perfect blend. It's a peach tone, gold, champagne. Seems to be kind of like all wrapped into one. Then whatever other highlighter I put on top, it looks really good. I do have a category for an actual palette because I noticed that I do go into highlighter palettes quite often. And my top pick is the one that I want to say this was my last year's pick too, but it is truly the one that I reach for the most in 2019. So it's the Huda Beauty. This is the 3D highlighter palette. Bronze Sands is the color name here. When I have a palette, I go into now all the shades. That's how you're going to use them up, and they just produce a really pretty color. And then every time I do that, it seems to be something a little bit different, but overall it's a very beautiful diffused look on the skin. So this is my, again, top pick. It's absolutely fantastic. Standalone highlighters, I do have 2. So just in their own little compact. I don't have a loose powder highlighter version because I have, you know, enough as far as a loose highlighter. So I'm just using what I have. But the 2 compacts that I just, again, was reaching for on a routine basis. Unfortunately, one you can't get anymore, and it is ABH's or Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. The second time this was re-released is when I picked this one up, because I didn't pick it up the first time. I was going a lot by reviews and colors. I thought it wouldn't look the best on my skin tone. I tried it out in the store. That's what you need to do too. Try them out in the store. You can go by what we say, but ultimately, if you're able to try it out in person, try it, because that's why I said, you know what, this works on me. Love the shade. So I even though it's discontinued, it is a top pick, and even though I can't get my hands on it again, I am using it. It's not something that I'm just keeping it away for special occasions. I'm using it. My last standalone highlighter pick is from Fenty Beauty. It's the How Many Carats highlighter. Okay, that was not scripted. That just really happened. That just really happened. Hopefully, from the sound, I'm really hoping I can just dig it out of the trash can right here, which has a lot of tissue. That just completely fell out of its compact. All over Diamond Bell, How Many Carats? I'm telling myself, don't cuss, don't cuss. The camera's rolling. Okay, let's look in the trash here. Where did you land? I don't know why that happened. Of all times, all this time I've had it, and then that's how it is. And then you start filming, and then all your stuff want to act out. Okay, I'm holding it really nice. It's intact. Now, this little trash can had a lot of tissue up, so ask me if I care. I will disinfect it later. I will disinfect it later. Okay, it's the pan. Hey, you know what? We're learning together what it looks like. So you can see the dent. I need to get this back in here before it crumbles right in my hands. There we go. I don't know why that was not secure. You know what? it's a rubberized compact. So instead of a metal pan, it's a rubber. It's like made out of rubber. And I mean, that just flew out. So I'm not going to be able to like glue it back or anything because it's actually, you know, in its own perfect circle. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to put anything into the product to change it. Why you had to do that, I don't know what you're trying to do. But this was my pick. You know what? I need to put this away right now before it falls, before something happens to it. Okay, you'll go right here in the drawer. And then we'll talk about you. We'll have a little talk later about how you mess it up on camera. I like to put how many carats like in the back, more so towards the back. And then just the way it just bing, bing. I'm always thinking of like an airplane coming in, you know, with the little, come on, come in. This highlighter just reminds me of that. A highlighter that can just bring that G7 in. Just bring it in. That is a highlighter for me. Let's move on to eyes here. Now for primer, an eye primer, the one that stood out the most to me, the one I reached for an awful lot, besides my regular eyeshadow primers that I use. I just want to use those up as well. MAC Paint Pot is one that I just reach for, I would say, a lot. But for new pick, 2019 definitely goes to Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. This is the Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer, and it just says Invisi Pink. This dries down, you don't have to set it. Well, I don't set it. And then whatever shadow you put on, it's not like the eye primer is like dulling the shadow. It amplifies it. Well, what the name is. The pigment is coming through, and then the shadow lasts all day. I do like that it's in a wand, so you can just put it on, kind of brush it out with a brush or a sponge or with your finger, and it is locked into place. And also, one of the best features is because myself, I have very oily eyelids, this just soaks it up, but still allows the shadow to do what it needs to do without my own oils, you know, coming through and misbehaving. So that was definitely, as far as a new eye primer, that one was my top pick. Now I do have a section here for eyeshadow singles. It's not like I was purchasing singles, you know, out of the blue and doing this, and I found one that was the top pick. So I'm going to skip that, but I do have, of course, an eyeshadow palette. Now this was actually something that was quite easy to do, to pick, because it was truly something that I was tracking from the prior year, and then we go into 2019. So it's the Kuruchi and ColourPop Brown Sugar Palette. I remember when I was sick during the holidays, so before 2019 ran around, this is what I was grabbing all the time. It was quick, easy, go. 2019 comes around, same thing. Quick, easy, go. Brown sugar will give you a warm tone look, a cool tone look too. You have these beautiful grays in here as well. Sauté is actually my favorite color here. If you have not put Sauté all over your lid, you are missing out. It is a gorgeous shade, and I tend to use it, if not on the lid, I will use it in the tear duct. And then you have, of course, the matte tones here. It's a good companion palette with other palettes that you might have. It is a good basic neutral palette, but it will surpass lots of industries if you have a professional setting, a corporate setting, even if you have a setting where, you know, it doesn't matter what makeup looks. This is just a really good palette, I think, for every makeup user. The price point is good. The formula is good. I mean, it's ColourPop shadows, so they blend well. I don't have any problem with them. I really enjoy how these complement one another and they build up in the crease. Brown sugar is, without a doubt, my favorite ColourPop eyeshadow palette. Ultimate palette. I reached for it the most, and I'm continuing to use it. So it's one I definitely highly recommend. Moving on to eyeliner, this is where I can split it out between a pencil, and I also have a liquid. I don't have a new 2019 liquid eyeliner pick, just using what I have. My favorite would be the Urban Decay eyeliner pencil. But for an actual, or liquid pencil, excuse me, but for an actual pencil, cold type pencil, the newer one that I had picked out for 2019 that impressed me the most is the Milk makeup one. So this is a dual-sided one. As far as, this is one thing I love, is the cap. So the black will tell you this is black, and then the gray will tell you this is a smudger. So I like that they have that. I use this pencil in my waterline. That's the most that I use it, but I do one eye at a time, because what I learned is this pencil does not give you time to, to set. So if you're someone that needs a little bit of time to kind of maneuver it, maybe blend it out, once this goes on, it is on the minute it touches the skin. Now, I also wear contacts. This does not transfer onto my contacts. That's another thing I noticed too. If I tight line, I run the risk of it getting on my contacts. This doesn't get on my contacts. You had me right there. Moving on to eyebrows. Now, if you've watched me for quite some time already, you already know, my little rants here and there about eyebrow products. And I recently decluttered and just tossed the majority of my eyebrow pencils, because I'm just happy with what I am using. It's nice when you already have a system in place, and then you can use up what you currently have. So for eyebrows, my drugstore pick is from e.l.f. This is my brow pencil. I did not buy this in 2019, but it's the one I was reaching for the most. And when it came to drugstore prices, I was comparing those pencils and so forth with my e.l.f. pencil. This is how much I have left. And you know what's so good about this pencil? Really, just even though the price is like what, $2, $3, it really is a pencil that just reminds me of a thin like whiz type pencil, because you can draw shape, sharp lines, but it fills in as if it was like a pomade, but it doesn't look harsh on the eye. It's just a remarkable pencil, and just, hey, it's e.l.f., so the price is right. Then for the high-end price, nothing luxury as far as brows, but my high-end price will definitely go to Benefit. So I'm a Benefit eyebrow gal. So I have precisely my brow pencil. This is in the shade number 5. This is the pink tone one, but I also have number 6, which is in my little basket over here. And the brow gel goes to the matching Benefit. This one will hold as if it's hairspray. It holds into place. It does allow you the time to, brush out your brows and so forth, and then it locks it in place all day long. Mascara is next. Mascara was pretty easy to pick. That goes to something that you, the viewer, had picked for me, and that is the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. It will give me that all-in-one look from one brush that I like. So it gives me the volume, it gives me the length, and it just gives me that thickness that I like. Nothing flakes, stays on. I really do enjoy it. And there's not clumps, like it will separate. It's not all clumpy on the top of my lashes. And when it gives me that subtle false lash effect, that's when you got me. So I really do like that that brush that's on it. For liquid lipstick, I do have a drugstore as well as a luxury pick. So my drugstore, and I just say drugstore price point, even though you can just get these at Ulta, is the ColourPop, the Luxe lipstick formula. Now it says Luxe Liquid Lip on the side here. This is the color. This is actually the only one I have. It's the Prince Naveen shade here, so the Tiana matching blush. ColourPop's Luxe formula is very comfortable. It's not drying on the lips. It's not so incredibly budget proof. I mean, I can eat with this on and I feel I still have to touch it up. But even if you touch it up, it doesn't look like it's like ruined, where you have to wipe everything off and reapply it. Sometimes there's liquid lipstick formulas where you have to do that. Now for my luxury formula pick is from Marc Jacobs. Truly the top pick for 2019. The formula that just won me. It goes on thin, it doesn't streak, it's not drying, it's not, uncomfortable. A little bit of, wear, but it is a wonderful formula. So I can use these up and then look again and see, okay, Marc, have you added anything new? And if they haven't, that's fine. you know, I got the ColourPop now. But that truly is my liquid lipstick pick. Again, I know it's at a luxury price tag, but it's truly what I was using the most. Now, lip liner. I do have a drugstore pick, again, drugstore price, so it will go back to ColourPop. I know, a lot of ColourPop in here, but it is what it is. These are the liners that I truly have reached for the most. Some of my favorite colors in here is I Heart This, and I like BFF 3, and I think I have 4, the one that they did with Shayla. So those are like my, when I think of the lip liners, those are the first one that come to mind. But this shade, I've been wearing this one a lot, a whole lot. I even have it on today. This is an, I can't put this color down. It's also one that I recommend a lot. Always dropping something on every time I film. This is called On Ice, and I just had to sharpen it today, so I wore it down. On Ice is beautiful, a top color pick. My luxury pick, you may already know it because I've been talking about it a lot during the year, Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat Reshape and Resize Lip Liner. This got me because of the first tone that I got, which is called Walk of Shame. Very much like how I was thinking of On Ice. It was going with every color. I actually need to sharpen this one. It was going with so many lipstick colors. It stays on. It stays on forever, it feels. Barely have to retouch it. Allows you the time to blend out. You know, if you want to use a brush, use your finger. It's such a good formula. That is what got me. For actual like bullet lipsticks, what I reached for the most were, again, ColourPop, my ColourPop lipsticks. Now, these are the ones I have in this tier here. And these are actually the collaboration lipsticks. So this is what I like. This is what I keep reaching for. So I bought the Disney Princess ones. This is the ones I've been reaching for the most. Belle is what I wear the most, followed by Ariel, followed by Cinderella, Jasmine, Snow White, and Tiana. Sorry, Tiana's at the end, but it's true. That's how I've been wearing them. Then I have the Disney Villains. Then I have the actual like just ColourPop lipsticks, like just the permanent ones that I wear. And then this is the collection with the Halloween one. Was it Halloween? They just had this. Yeah, it is, because she has little bats on it, the one with Safia. So I have that in the back. I'm also going to include these under the lipstick category from Physicians Formula, although I did review these and I said they are a triple threat because they're a lipstick, a lip gloss, and a lip balm all in one. It gives off the high shine of a gloss. It has the comfort and the wear. It looks just like a lipstick on. They're incredible. The Physicians Formula Butter Lipsticks, SPF 15. So I have all the shades. I did pull out the 2 that I was wearing the most of last year. So that's Brazilian Nut and Brazilian Sunset. Just happens to be the Brazil tone. So I'll put them over lipsticks. I wear them with the liners by themselves. They're just incredible. They nailed it with this formula. And for gloss, I do have, you know, it's a broken record. My top picks were the ColourPop So Juicy glosses. These are the ones I was reaching for constantly. And when it comes to gloss too, if it's really easy for me just to grab you and put it on and go, you're going to start noticing me just grabbing it constantly. So I did pick out a few. I don't have too many, although it may look like I have a lot, but not too much. And these are my top picks are right here. I do enjoy that minty taste that it has, and it doesn't bother me. Like, it may feel like it's plumping a little bit, but I like that cooling sensation. I wear Princess Cut constantly, the clear one. Absolutely love this color. So these were my top picks. I can wear these to the gym. I can wear them just regular days, doesn't matter. Some have a lot more color than other. These are so good, and they stay on. They have a sticky texture, which I don't mind, because the stickier they are, they're going to last longer. My luxury pick for gloss is the McGrath lip glosses here. I think these are called the Brilliance lip glosses, but see, some already are falling. Only in the mini sizes. So she does have a bag that has 3 of them inside. The pinks, there's some nude ones. I don't think there's a red kit, otherwise I would have picked it up. But these are wonderful. They produce that glossy glass effect. That's another thing I love with glosses is give me a high shine glass effect. That's also what the ColourPop ones will give me, and you sold it to me, even if it's sticky and all that mess. So I do like these. They just impressed me. I could not help reaching for them the most. It is a good formula. I really do have to say that the Pat McGrath glosses are an excellent formula. However, I just prefer them at the mini size. I don't want to be spending the price for the full sizes. Just I will get through the minis and just continue to buy those. It gives me, again, like I mentioned before, whenever I'm talking about these glosses, it gives me just that taste of her glosses without having to commit to a full-size price. And I think that the $25 for 3 is an outstanding deal. How you doing? Are you hanging in there? Almost done. Just a few more products. So I do have a pick for false eyelashes as well as my eyelash glue. The one that stood out to me the most is from Kiss Lashes. So this is the one that I pulled out. I have been wearing the Pixie Blowout Lashes the most, but I did not discover those in 2019. But this one, and just this like multi-pack here that says Ever Easy Lashes, I've been enjoying these. This one is in the number 11. The 11 looks like that dimmy wispy look that I like, but it's still that natural glamour. It will oomph it up, whether you're wearing it for day or for night, but it will just give that look on the eye that you are just seeing just a beautiful complementary eye, not something where people notice your lashes first and then you. That's not the look I like. I just like something that will just complement the natural beauty and just gives you a little bit of glamour. So I highly recommend style 11. Glue, just so happened to come across these from Sephora collection, the brush tip lash adhesive. So I like the back and I like the clear tone here. It's an easy brush to go over any band and it will lock it in place. It gives you the time if you want to kind of maneuver your lashes, and then it dries and it stays put. It stayed on all day for me. So it's a good deal too. I think it's like $7 or whatnot. Get it during the Sephora VIB sales and you get an even, a less amount that you have to pay. Setting spray, that will go to the one that I have used the most. So I do have just the regular, I'm going to say it, drugstore price, affordable price, and it's the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This truly has been what I have been reaching for. It feels like it's almost already done, but I do have another one here. If you look at the ingredients, they do match up a lot of what I would say more of the higher end out there. So the Urban Decay All Nighter, if you're looking at like the Smashbox too. So all those other ones like Scandinavia, you're looking at those. I'm like, Morphe's right up there, and it's at a good price point. You can pick it up now at Ulta. And then my finisher will be, what I do is I will spray it on and then I will spray my setting mist, or sometimes I just don't even want to deal with the setting mist and I'll just use a finisher. And that one definitely goes to Glow Recipe Watermelon Mist. This is another mist that is that continuous mist. You just spray it on and it's so fine the way it hits the face and you can just fan it off. It gives a realistic glow. A realistic is what I call glow, like a natural, healthy, dewy, radiant glow. That is what I like. That's my aesthetic. I absolutely love this mist. And I do want to thank the community, the YouTube community, because it was in so many people's best of, I want to say it had to be 2018, because that's how I found out about it. And then I tried it in the new year and absolutely fell in love. So this is something I highly recommend and I really do enjoy it. So let me know if you've tried anything. I would love to know your experiences. As always, it's so fun to read your stuff. Read your experiences and read like how different items maybe have worked for you or haven't. And if you're having the same, reactions and experiences that I have, it's always good to find out. So definitely engage and leave comments for me. I'm wishing you all a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and again, just spending that time with me because it's a long video. Again, I appreciate it. As always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Definitely come back. I want to see you again. Bye.